It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Jasmine Terry. Jasmine Terry. What's up, troublemaker?
Oh, nothing much, man. Nothing much. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what's up.
What's up?
Let me land.
Let me land.
That's what's happening right now.
That's what's happening.
That's a movement, huh?
It's a movement. You know,
Yeah.
it started out of controversy, from the viral clip. And Black women just showed up, and it's something that resonated with them that I didn't even think about. I was just in flow, getting on some ass, and they decided they loved it, and so now they've made it into a movement, and I'm going to push it the whole way because it signifies, I didn't say that right, signifies confidence, composure, and I'm ready to roll with it.
Yeah, you can take that in so many directions. I mean, I know you
Absolutely.
started with the T-shirts, right?
Yeah, I put it out. I put the T-shirts out there.
I saw the sales on the T-shirts,
man.
rolling in.
Listen, I've had my holistic roots for a long time, my skincare products, and I've done fairly well since I've launched the brand. But, when people feel connected to something, like they feel a part of, I just decided to say, hey, well, they kept screaming merch. So I listened and I went with it.
See, and it's hard to beat organic, It's hard to beat that. Like you be thinking that this is my plan, I'm going to do it like this. Mm-hmm. And the universe says, no. We going to do it like this.
We're going to shift, right? Right.
Yeah.
The flood of women, so many DMs, so many women have bought these shirts on their conferences, right? They've bought it because this is their way to signify when they're in their office into a meeting, let me land, let me finish my conversation, let me finish my thought, and it's a way of empowerment. So I'm like, I was just in flow, so you never know. And I'm thankful for it. I'm trying to put everything together so that we can really make this into impactful moment and a part of my ecosystem and what my contribution is for the world and purposeful path. So
I can see it. I can see the conferences. I can see summits. It's
unlimited.
Yeah.
Writing journals, like you said, conferences, buying land. Right. This is me standing in confidence.
Mentorship programs, everything. Yeah,
don't say too much though, because we still in this trademark phase right now. So no, I don't want to give too much in the meantime, but I'm definitely grateful.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad for you. It's well deserved.
Thank you.
You've been a staple in the community for a minute now. I would say one of those unsung heroes. You like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I think people see your work more than they see your face.
They do.
Yeah.
But honestly, within this growth, because your girl is gonna be the big 4-0 in June, so I think that I always position myself. I don't know if this is just a thing because of the community. I want to be behind the scene. I want to be the gangster. I just move. But honestly, I think in this moment, it's going to require me to really be in front of my brands, in front of what I do. Sometimes I'm a doer, so I'm just going. I'm in flow. You just see you saw what I did. But in this moment, I think this phase of my life is going to require me to really stand in front, be the main character that I am, you know, and it creates the ecosystem for all the things that I do, because it's a bit confusing. You go from owning a bar, lounge, entertainment, you going into getting a dual citizenship as a dual citizen now. We talked about that probably before I even got it on your podcast, to, owning a wellness brand, to speaking about the community. So I think this is a moment that's going to allow me to really land.
But that's all things lifestyle though. If you really think about it, you got a lifestyle brand. You are the lifestyle.
I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're right. Let's revisit that viral moment that produced this T-shirt and this new movement that you have. Ooh. Let Me Land.
Yeah.
So the segment was on Isaiah Carey's show, The Isaiah Factor, Uncensored. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Isaiah. And the the segment was entitled, what was it, like
Are black women vilified in America?
Are black women vilified in America? So I ask you that question again. Are black women vilified in America? And if so, how?
It shouldn't even be a question, to be honest. History has taught us that we are vilified every day through these systems that we are put into. We're definitely vilified in America, and not to knock the opportunity to share my voice, but in media, to me, it's also disrespectful that you would even ask black women. This is a topic. You know it. You see it. Why are we asking these questions?
Yeah.
So a part of me, I'll be honest, shouts out to Isaiah. We love Isaiah. But a part of me, I was a bit pushed back from doing the segment because I feel like, why am I going to entertain this? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be antagonized, sitting here with two bobblehead women that's disconnected, don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's insulting to me. So for me to come off my throne to school you, I just felt like, I'm not doing it. But I'm glad that I did.
But
I'm glad.
But every now and then you do it just because you got time. I got time today.
I got time today.
Yeah.
And honestly, not just because of the time, you have to realize that it's beyond me. I want to be an impact for younger women, for women my age, older women, just different ways that we can handle situations. You get what I mean? I understand what the question was about. I understand that it was going to bring some heat. I knew who was on the panel, and I knew what this could possibly emotionally do to me. But it was a teachable moment that you could still be resilient. You could still check her ass, be intelligent, right? And we call it the Claire Huxtable, right? Like, I don't have to go to your level, but I will not let you disrespect me. I also will not let you sit here and make these false claims about my culture. Stay in your ground, but I don't have to get mad where I get overly emotional and I'm ready to fight you. I'm here to
see, Angela, we're talking about Angela Box.
Yeah.
So Angela got this thing like a lot of people have that are not black, where they use the worst of our culture as an example of who we are collectively. And they use the best of their culture as an example of who they are collectively. So they just smoothly overlook these Karens who are losing their damn minds on a daily basis, screaming and hollering, and a demon coming out of them. You can see demon, you can see the devil himself, like, that's my child, giving them a pat and everything. All day, every day, you see these devils screaming, going crazy.
Yeah.
But they package the whole angry thing, the whole,
the narrative.
The narrative is that, this is exclusive to black women.
But it's for a reason. And we're going to go back to when we initially talked about from the first time we sat down, which being interrupted. Us being interrupted. This is all a distraction. If I can provoke you next to me and make you look like you the scary bear, right? And make you play into the role that we have already designed you to be, I won. But if I can hold my composure, I can still get on your ass with data, history, information, then I won because you didn't move me. And I think as a people, we have to understand how to maneuver in these systems. I'm not saying that don't check anybody, don't get on, let them know, don't play with me. But honestly, it's a point where we have to look at ourselves. We're the powerful one. You just look at what's happening in America right now. All of the fears, what's happening in Louisiana right now with the Supreme Court. They only win when they make us believe they've already won. That's when they won. So they have to play this are interruptions. They have to interrupt us as a culture. You have to consistently interrupt us. I'm going to distract you. The conversation was, are black women vilified in America? Why the hell is that a question? How can a Latina woman sit next to me and tell me Kamala Harris is the DEI and she got on her knees? That's how she got her job. You know the amount of strength and composure with these women sitting next to me talking shit like this? You haven't heard yelling, ghetto, ratchet, all of this. But I'm still going to check you. You're not going to feel like you're going to win. And I don't always have to check everybody. But in this moment, I'm going to hit you with facts. I'm going to let you know how to handle me. right? I'm going to control the situation because you're weak. Who they are weak, and they know it. But the moment if I would have got that, I would have slapped the hell out of both of them, and I would have popped out the chair and looked crazy. Guess who wins? You know? So, and what that showed me in the moment, sometimes it's not about me. If you're going to push, it's about the people, the women that you affected. 10,000 comments. I mean, almost 2 million views. Shares 100,000. Queen Latifah liked it. What's her name? Taraji, SZA. You know, you never know how you can impact somebody, right? And so if we can learn how to play the game well, we're gonna always win. You know what I mean? She didn't expect that. I don't even think, and not to knock again Isaiah, but I'm tired of clickbait culture. I'm tired of us being used in these systems, even by our own people. This is going to give me more views. This is going to do these different things. And we're the ones that's looking a mess. We're looking crazy out here, you know? So
how much of that is self-inflicted?
When you say self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted, you say we're the ones out here looking crazy, right? So, you know, the elephant in the room is, okay, we know that Black women are being targeted. We know that Black women are purposely vilified in this country. We know that we know how this country feel about Black women,
right,
and what they did to spread the bad news. You know, this manufactured bad news. We know, right?
Right.
But what I'm saying is, how much of that is on the behavior of that small percentage of Black women that rises to the top of the algorithm on a daily basis, that's acting that actually be out there, you know, contributing to the stereotype.
It's small. It's extremely small. You know, you're just we think about history in general, right? We think about entertainment. Are all Black women shaking their ass on television? You know, like, is that who we represent as a people? It's actually, that happens because it's put there to control you. We're going to make you do what we believe for you to believe who you are. That's not who we are as a people, to be honest with you. We're really not.
So how frustrating is that when you see your sisters doing that do that? Because even though we both know that that's a very, very small percentage, they use that percentage, they weaponize that percentage of Black women against us as a community. So how frustrating is that? And is the onus on other Black women to teach or to, as you say, check?
Yeah. So for me, and when I say check, it's not necessarily trying to get in somebody's face, right? It's like, how do we push the culture forward? So I'm not going to get upset with Black women. But I think it's a teachable moment. I think as a culture, we've lost our standard. You know, we don't have a culture code anymore. When I say a culture code, it's certain things that we did, that we do, that you know that's my culture and it's not my culture. You know, who are these women? We've basically had a disconnect with the watchers of the community. There was a standard. I'm sure in your time when you were younger as well, the neighborhood, you did something wrong, everybody gonna whoop your ass on the street, right? Or you have a community, man, don't do that, do this. But now we're so distracted that we can't even have a code for our community. We don't have that control anymore. You know, we don't have the control because music is controlling your children. So I don't get upset with them. What I want to do is teach. If that was an impactful moment like what I did, you know how many young girls was like, man, I want to do that. Now this is how I'm going to handle a situation. I think we have to lead by example, you know? So yes, I get extremely upset, but it plays a role in everything, politics. Think about it.
I'm also seeing educated Black people and who are professionals turning that camera on and shaking their ass at work and bending over and busting it open.
Yeah.
And the thing that was a time when the goal was to be that educated professional Black woman, so I don't have to stoop to that level.
So just intelligence doesn't doesn't reflect character, meaning like who you are.
Right.
It doesn't. Those are two. The morals are completely different.
Right.
Right. And so that's my point when I say culture code and a standard. Right. Educate. There's a lot of women that have degrees that's doing exactly that. That means nothing. It's just having a standard for yourself as a woman. You get what I mean?
But what does that say to the young Black girl that's coming up and she's trying to decide her way? She doesn't have guidance, and she's watching the women that she wants to become.
Yeah.
And she sees, well, damn, she's a doctor and she's doing this, or she's a lawyer and she's doing this, or she's an entrepreneur.
We've lost control of our community. We are honestly at war, and this is a war. This has been a continuous war. This is all a plan. This is a plan, and we have literally disconnected completely. There's no Black Panther parties in the community feeding our communities, right? Who's teaching your children? Angela sat on a panel and said that she was a previous teacher in the inner city school. And
I heard the vitriol in her voice.
Exactly.
For the parents.
These are the people that are teaching your children, right? And, we have to get a hold of our culture more than ever. At any point, this is a moment in time that we have to lean in, because we have lost it. We don't have the watchers of our community. The watchers were, and don't think I'm like crazy. I am from Louisiana. My mother's side is from Louisiana, but you have watchers of the community that can feel it's a spiritual connection, right? We're connected to the earth as people more than anybody else, from the sun to the earth. We know there's shifts where you can feel it. We don't have that anymore. We're so disconnected. Everything is scrolling, clickbait, content. I got to talk. You have all these coaches telling you what to do with your life. We don't even look at leaders in the community. When there's something that needs to get done, people are looking at Beyonce to have the answer. It's crazy, to be honest.
It really runs me hot when people, every time there's a problem that needs to be solved, somebody screams out a celebrity's name. If you add up all of the people who are not a celebrity, they got more money than celebrities have. So it's like, to me, it's like if everybody who points out a celebrity and say, hey, this celebrity need to be given this money. Look, we got such and this person and that person, we could own this, and we could, there have been people who have started with nothing and built empires, Black people who started with nothing and built empires. So if some of us would take all of that energy, all that talking, and just actually go do it themselves instead of sitting around waiting on somebody, we could actually get some things moving. Yeah. I don't think that a lot of people understand that when it comes to celebrities, most celebrities, they're not thinking that I'm going to take my money that I earned doing what I do to go and invest in something that I don't know about, or something that, I'm unfamiliar with, or, or something that's risky, right? Yeah. Most celebrities are going to do with their money the same thing that other people do with their money. But I understand our situation is a little different, because we're so damn far behind. We need to have all hands on deck. And this is why I've actually, stepped into certain types of business deals where I can employ Black people, because I know it's all hands on deck. And even though it's more work and sometimes a little stressful, we have to fight. You cannot just complain. You can complain. Everybody has a right to complain, especially if they think they've been done wrong. But after you complain, you have to do something about it.
Yeah, you have to do the work. And honestly, it's purposeful to make us feel the way that we feel about ourselves, the way that we see our communities, the way that we can show up in the world to be successful, athlete, entertainer, all of those things. We have been programmed. If Black Americans, and I'm talking about I'm not talking about Black people around the world. My focus is Black Americans. And I'm a person that, yes, I did get a dual citizen. I'm now a dual citizen of Ghana. Black Americans, we have to unlearn a lot. And this is a moment, in time. Trump is in office, and he's in office to interrupt. He is in office to dismantle systems. This can either be something that elevates us or takes us even further back.
And be clear about this type of systems that he's in office to dismantle.
I can say it on both ends, and not just from business, political, even in spiritual spaces. He's there to project fear. I want you to be figuring, look like the boogeyman. Because if I've already made you believe that I've won, I won. And everyone is around here scared and all these scared tech. And look how, to be honest with you, they so scared. Willie, step outside. Look from a macro perspective. Step outside and look in. Look how much shit they have to create to either move you emotionally, right? He's getting shot, or this happened to someone else. All of these things in order to play a story. Step out of it. Look what happens. They are fearful. They are fearful. And I'm being honest. When I say they, I mean white people. They are fearful. They are becoming a sink in the world, right? So they're doing every and anything to hold on to power. And they're going to rearrange these systems, rearrange all of these different policies that were in place that was supposed to have been helping. They're trying to dismantle everything. We have to focus on us. And I say this, the 600,000 Black women that are laid off right now, everyone is fearful and like, oh my God, to me, it's talent. We got some of the best attorneys, some of the best doctors. We got, some entrepreneurs, a woman that was working at Microsoft. If we put our brains together, this is a moment that can be our renaissance.
That's going to happen because Black women are resilient. We're resilient. As a people, Black people are resilient, but Black women, I have no doubt that all of those Black women are going to land on their feet.
Absolutely. And it's the best thing. So this is something that I would say, and people probably get upset, Trump is the best thing that probably is happening us right now. That's happening for the Black community. Because no one has the capabilities that we have. Our shift in survival skills is top tier. We reposition so well. Yes, it's a strain. Yes, mental capacity, all those things. But we are resilient beings. We're people of the sun. There's nothing we can't do. So while this is happening, Trump is in office. I'm not going to buy them Jordans. I'm not going to buy this, man. I'm about to buy some land. The mind shifts are happening. And that's what they don't understand. But we do have to organize, and we have to take care of our community. And when I say that, I don't mean the uppity, upper class Black Americans. I'm talking about community. If our community is suffering as a whole, we are suffering. In education, we are behind. Taking care of your community, feeding your community. I don't know, in Third Ward, they're putting the Negro hospital. We got our own. If you look back, and Third Ward is my space. That's where my family's from, generations. We had our own hospitals, our own healthcare system, own schools. That's where power. Now look what's happened. All this integration and changing and shifting, disbursement of the people in the city, taking land. Like right now, leaders have to step up, and I feel like I'm one of them. I feel like it's a purposeful path. I have to speak, help, because a person like myself, that I believe I'm a visionary and I see things. Like I told you, 2023, when we went back, I want to go get citizenship from a different country, because to Africa, rather, because I feel as Black people, we have to expand beyond what we see here. We need to connection to resources. We need the gold. We need the diamonds. We need to be able to broker deals all around the world. This is a moment in time that spiritual leaders has to rise. And I'm not talking about the church, the rich, the pastors and all. I'm saying people who have those gifts. It's time for you to rise.
What are your thoughts about the South Africans who are running off other Africans from outside of South Africa? They're trying to get rid of them because they're saying that they are, exhausting their resources?
Well, we have to figure a way, how do we work together, right? In ways other Africans that are coming from other countries somehow are also, it's there. I think in ways it could be progressing the country. In other ways it can be taking. But imagine if they're able to work together. Whether you're Nigerian, you're from Ghana, collectively you work together, because the Black Africans that are in South Africa are not the problem. You have the colonizers that are buying all the land. Why are you looking at your own people? We have to change. We have to look at things from a different perspective. Why is it, yes, the South Africans they're standing up to get their land back from, the white people I believe that have taken over. But it's a moment where we have to move as one, like collectively. I think it's a distraction there. Why is that? You're fighting other Africans that's coming in because there's opportunity. Work together, if possible. If we're going to fight anybody, it should be them.
But they're too scared to fight them.
But why?
Brainwashed.
Why when you're stronger?
They've been brainwashed to believe. Yeah. It's like, I won't say any names, but I remember having a major event once that I was hosting, and a family member made the comment. The family member was at was being served like this, different cuisines and stuff that, you don't eat daily, that they don't eat daily, right? Mm-hmm. And it got back to me that she said, "Oh, we're trying to be white." Yeah. That's brainwashing. That's thinking that, that means that, so this is good for, living a life of fulfilled luxury, or, having a certain level of success or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's only for those people, but not you. Mind. And you can only go so far. Mm-hmm. And so that's what it is.
Yeah, you have to unlearn and relearn a lot. And I think I will say, to your point when you were asking me about Africa, when I first initially went to the continent, you remember the conversation, I'm excited. I am excited. But one of the things I have learned is, as Black Americans, we have to protect ourselves. Everyone looks at us on how they can take from us. What can we offer them? What we do, right? And now a dual citizen, now looking to structure global business and have shared community with another culture. Yes, they're African culture, but who protects the Black American? Who protects us? We have to protect ourselves.
Nobody.
Around the world.
Because no, finish.
And my experiences are, don't get me wrong, Ghana is an amazing country, welcoming with open arms. But I also know that we're different. And everyone looks at us, we are Africa's gold. Black Americans, we're Africa's gold. We're that perfect bridge that can come in. And before I build anyone else's country, right? And I'm going to make sure, I really believe that my goal is to protect my people. And we should be able to navigate all over the world. Nothing has dramatically happened, but I see how we are looked upon around the world as a ticket for everything. Meaning, like, what can we do? We produce. I don't want anybody to lowball us as Black Americans. Our culture is resilient. Imagine going to places and people don't think we have culture. We know develop the world benefits from, right? So there's a knowing of self of who we are. We are resilient people. And I truly believe that we have to know that. We have to be able to go into any country, and I don't know what to call it. I don't know if we would call it an organized organization or have our own council, but we have to be protected more than ever right now. If we don't focus, and I know what you were saying about the Black foundational Black people, but we have to protect what we've created. If not, people look at us for what they can take, honestly.
Finish the statement. You said, before I go to any other country, before I build any other country, you were about to say something, but you switched.
Yeah.
So what country are you saying before you build any other country, you'll build what country?
I'm saying that, well, America's ours. This is our land. This is our land, the Americas. When you understand history and you realize that the world was brown before all of this nonsense and these structures that they have created. Black people are all over the world. And when I look at myself as a Black American, immersing myself into other cultures, I realize that I am an extended tribe. I think that, and when I say that, to your question, you ask what country, I don't think it's a specific country, but I'll say leading for Ghana by example. We are looking to expand. But in order for us to expand, I feel that we need to be protected first. Because you're going into someone else's country. Who protects us? The development.
So how do we create a system that protects us?
We create our own council of people, organization. You know, you think about you have your Black Panther Party, right? We should be able to have our own council around the world, whether it's in China, whether it's in Africa, whether it's anywhere. You know, we should be able to have our own protection because we are not protected around the world.
Well, we have, like you said, this is like, this is our country, but we don't have representation in this country. Yes. Like what I'm saying is this: Black people are the only people in the world, Black Americans are the only people in the world who don't have a country that protects us. Like if you think about anybody else, whether they're coming from Ghana or whether they're coming from Ireland, Australia, Cuba, wherever. If a Cuban, an Australian, a Ghanaian, if anybody gets killed on U.S. soil, it creates an international crisis. But all day, every day, Black people are illegally killed in this country, and nobody comes to our defense.
Exactly.
Nobody in the entire world.
We are gaslit. Black people are gaslit around the world. Everyone gaslights us. Everybody gaslights the Black American. For me, going to China, going to Africa, going to different places of the world on our resilience and who we are, what we offer to the world. Everyone loves our culture. Look at it. And the whole purpose is to keep us suppressed so they can benefit off of it. You know, and as I've gone through the last 3 years of this shift of wanting to immerse myself, having a global impact, it's been a beautiful journey. But I will say, I believe there's a shift for me. Because as I'm in this space, not because an idea and thought and people, these foundational, Black people have something to say about, oh, don't do this, and you've never went through the journey. You're talking to somebody who's living it, right? I've dedicated time to go into a country, to learn the country, learn how can I get my citizenship within a year, learn the land. But in these moments, I see how we are not protected. We are not protected around the world. And I'm not saying Black people. So I want to get off when people talk about the diaspora, they talk about Black people. I understand African Black people. I'm talking about Black Americans.
Well, that's what FBAs are talking about.
So exactly. So the Black Americans, but a lot of people are talking and don't have any experience, right? I am not someone who follows. I want to go and seek and understand before someone gives me this concept who've never been outside of the country, who's never been anywhere else. And to just have this thought and idea. My relationships, I have friendships and people all over the world. I see how government operates in that country. I see how our government operates. And I'm saying that in order to have shared community, we have to protect ourselves. And right now, America already has a plan, honestly, to combine all Black people together. Whether you're African, whatever you are, when you come to America, you're Black. Right? And in a lot of ways, I do see the shifts.
Now, you just messed up the lives of millions of Africans who are going to come here thinking that they are different from Black people in America. Millions, Over time. I'm not saying millions in 1 year or whatever, but over time, because let's face it, there are Africans who think they're special, who think they're different, who think that,
and so it's
who
because
think,
of
who
what
think
they've
that
been taught. Yeah.
they think their feet walk on water in regards to Black people, and they treat everybody, I mean everybody, better than they would treat a Black person. Come to our country,
but I will say,
our country.
I'm not going to say that for I'm not going to say that for everybody.
No, I'm not saying everybody,
but
I'm saying
taught,
that there are a segment of Africans who come to the United States and look down, and they'll set up shop, and actually. They will actually have Black customers and look down on those Black customers.
And so there's a lot of unlearning that we have to do as people, right? In general, because they have been taught by what they see on the television that America has given to the world.
Right.
Do you get?
Yeah.
I literally sit in a table of beautiful African women, and I have to defend myself as a Black American woman. And we're having open conversation. And when I say defend, it's beautiful, because the goal, when you're sitting around people that are on the same path of understanding, you never have an argument when you're trying to problem solve. We're all trying to get to solve the problem.
Right.
Right. But I also had to let them they didn't realize that I'm a Black woman sitting at a table. And you're saying, why when y'all come here, y'all do this? Or why Black women, well, y'all don't really know who you are, because of culture. And it's my job to teach you. I'm going to teach you. Like I taught on that panel, on that clip, I'm going to teach you also, because you have also been programmed. They didn't get this from anywhere. This is what America has pushed out about us. So then, like myself, let's have a conversation. Why do you believe we do not have culture? Who told you that? We have a culture. You see it every day. The lights that are on right now is because of who, right? When you come to the country, when you come to America, the benefits, when you get to check that box, what category do you fall under? You put Black, those grants or, whatever it is that our ancestors have created that you benefit from. I want people to understand who we are. And so as Black Americans, and I believe it was T.D. Jakes who said something profound in one of his sermons. He said about, had not we been slaves, the way that we think, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, no, when they come here, they're confident because they have the confidence of who they are because of their culture. We are our people, and it was not suppressed. We're resilient beings. Imagine shadow slavery. We've done all this and somebody telling you don't have a culture. And you don't know who you are. That's a narrative that they put out about us. We are the gold. And it's the data shows it of who we are and what we do. So me sitting at the table with these women who are openly, when we finish the conversation, you know what? I'm so thankful I met you because I never thought about it like that. The music that you listen to, the slang, the fun, the TikTok, where do you think that comes from? Black women, Black American women. What do I learn from you? I learn beautiful things from my African women, right? In a lot of ways. We're supposed to, in order to have shared community, we have to be able to communicate and appreciate each other's culture. But the first thing I want you to understand is you're going to respect my culture because I have culture. Whether if the West has put it out there that we don't, we do. And that is the narrative that, and it wasn't us who put it out. Who put it out? America. These politicians, these systems. You have, we looking at old historic videos where in the Vietnam War, the Vietnamese people are calling Black American soldiers niggas. Why? Because it's a story. And everybody gaslights us, honestly, around the world, or who the hell we are. And we walking around here kind of like, we're resilient beings. Data, history, everything shows it, and they don't want us to be able to have an awareness. And I keep stating over and over about being interrupted as a culture. Who are we as a culture uninterrupted? Who are we? We are unstoppable people, but we have to know that first. Imagine going places and everyone acts and they studying you. They studying what you do, how you move. What's cool? You set the tone and everything, right? So this is a moment that we have to really see ourselves And when I say going into other countries, building other countries, knowing who we are, what we contribute. Everyone wants to, in our communities. Everybody's in our community except us. All we have in Third Ward is Alameda. And I mean, yeah, okay, we have bars and clubs and, that's a movement to do your thing. But the Chinese been in our community. The Indians been in our communities, right? Everybody profits off of us. And it's unfortunate that we have to get to a point where we got to fight for it. This shit, you got to fight at this point. There's no, let's be peaceful. No, the minute I sit next to anybody who disrespects my culture, I'm going to check you. I'm going to teach you in this moment. Some will fight. Some we're going to have a conversation because you will respect me. You have to respect me. And that's anywhere in the world, So I'm extremely passionate. And I haven't looked, to be honest, much into the foundational Black, like you were just explaining. Like, I know who we are. So I'm not going to say I don't know what foundational Black people mean. I see the social media. I just want us to be on one path and one chord, and that we work and we navigate around the world like that, So when I say passionate, when I say let me land, it's me landing in my resilience, right? Confidently speaking on who I am, teaching our own children. You have somebody like this woman who sat next to me on a panel and talked about how ghetto the parents are. She was teaching your children. They're feeding your children. You know what I mean? These people are feeding the foods and all the things that, I almost sound like deja vu of our conversation that we had 3 years ago, but it's a reality. We have to get a hold of our culture.
It's been that long since I interviewed you? Mm-hmm. It's been that long?
3 years.
Oh, wow. That's a long time. Yeah, I should absolutely have you back on the show more often because you got a lot to say and
I do.
a lot to offer. I want to ask you a two-part question about your passion for your community, right?
Yeah.
The first part is when it comes to the passion that you have in the community, how do you balance passion with strategy? How do you balance passion with strategy and minus the noise?
Oh, man. So I realize that I operate in the future. And when I say watchers of the community, spiritually led, I'm a visionary. So I'm always in the future. I'm always thinking, when I told you 3 years ago that I wanted to go get citizenship because I feel like as Black people, we have to be able to expand. People are like, oh, I'm not going to Africa. I'm America. This is the center of the world. We better than everybody. No, these were the comments, right? But I also, it's a knowing, it's a spiritual gift, right? And to your question, I operate in the future. And sometimes when you operate in the future, I know Kanye said something where you operate in the future, but you can lose the audience of the present because people don't understand. And it's not easy because I'm trying to translate to you something that a spiritual gift that I know, that I foresee that's going to happen, and I have to move. And to sit here and to go back and forth with you about something you don't understand. So I have to keep going. So it's not easy when you're not around your tribe of people that get it. You have to be around people that speak life into you and see what you, man, that's great. Keep going. What you see, I trust your intuition. I trust what your spiritual gift is. Because if not, you would get stuck here and you get stressed. It's in the present and you lose ways to create strategy and systems to make it work because you got the noise of people like, man, hell no, I'm not going to Ghana. I ain't going to Africa. I'm in America. I'm better, whatever, and you battling something that they cannot foresee. Not that I'm better than anybody, but I trust myself and I know what I have is a gift. And I know that I feel it. The immediate I got my citizenship that next month, my citizenship came the week after Trump became president. I literally went there. That was a ceremony that next week. You know how many people flooded my DMs and telling me, how can I get citizenship? Man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Now, this is something I've seen back in 2017. I sacrificed to starting 2023 to go full force, I'm going to get citizenship. Something's telling me expand. Because if I have citizenship, my husband gets citizenship, my future children get citizenship, my parents get citizenship. This is something that's going to give my family access to something bigger. What I look like arguing with somebody who's telling me, man, why are you going to Africa? Like, that's stupid. You know what I mean? They've never been. So
Right.
To your point, it's not easy. But and sometimes it can be lonely because you have to be okay with going with your own move. You have to be okay with, I know what I see, I got to keep going. And I'm not trying to convince anybody. That's where the stress comes in. That's where I can't plan and be strategic in my next steps, because I'm not arguing with nobody in this present that I know that don't get it. So when I see someone, I don't know how you feel about Kanye, but outside of the craziness that he does, Kanye has it as well. It's hard to get people to understand in the moment. Sometimes you get it later. He mentioned something that said, it's not that you're not right now. It's just not right now. It's not that it's not right now. It's not that you're not right. It's just not right now.
Yeah.
So it's not easy and I'm still learning. I'm not saying I'm the answer. I have it all figured out. But one thing I will say, go with your move. Like, go with your intuition. You have to move. And the moment when I begin to feel complacent, I may go take a trip and I may move solo to make me uncomfortable. Because being in Houston, when you're from here and everybody's doing the same dance, it's called in the chic community, everybody on a Sunday in the same space, it's kind of hard when you get caught up into those same cycles and rhythms. So I know when I feel myself, not saying necessarily in a club, but I'm just saying into those same patterns, I have to withdraw because I know I have to trust what I'm supposed to do. So
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. In this space that you're in, where you're a community activist, you are an entrepreneur, you're a go-getter. Sometimes being passionate can have negative effects or negative reactions where people will try to label you as being masculine. When it comes to when it comes to your passion, in regards to the community,
mm-hmm.
how do you balance that passion with femininity?
Oh, so I say that as using your velvet sword. Being a feminine woman, being a woman is the most powerful thing in the world, right? And as I evolve even more into the woman who I'm meant to be, I'm leaning in to be, I understand that using a velvet sword is powerful. So I don't have to come at you, barking at you. Prime example on that panel, I'm going to revert everything to me. That was an example of, I don't have to get in your face and be all crazy. I can say what I said and mean it. To some people, to some men, that's masculine. You're too passionate, too driven, you're doing too much. Like, it just seems like that's not somebody that understands me. So I don't even argue with that we're not a part of the same tribe. And people that get it. So a divine woman being able to use her velvet sword is important, because I can say yes and mean it, and I can say no and mean it, and you understand my power. I don't have to overly act crazy or do something that's not of my character to get you to understand. So
yeah, I think you're consistent in that manner. You're very consistent. I never looked at you as being masculine or anything as far as like the way you move. But I do know that it is a stressful field to be in. Oh, yeah. And so I'm sure, some of the things that you have to deal with being a woman, and then moving around where you have to sometimes, like you say, you have to move solo because, you can't wait. Can't wait on somebody to try to,
I can't try to
realize your vision and all of this type of stuff. You got to go.
Honestly, that's that intuitive part. That's the gift that I got to keep moving, because I'm going to not fulfill my purpose trying to get you to understand. because you're not going to get it. So a person has to love you freely. Someone like me has to be loved freely because I trust her magic. I trust who she is as a person. I know she's always that's the magic of who she is. But when you try to contain that, or just find a pattern, it's not going to work.
If you could change one thing in your city to improve your city today, overnight, what would it be?
I would change. In my city, I would change the elementary school system. And the reason why, I went to Turner Elementary School, and I went there from pre-K to probably second grade. They had a multicultural purpose program. And I was in that program where we learned about the different continents. We learned about foods, etc. And that small exposure from maybe kindergarten to second or third grade changed my thought process on how I saw the world. And it wasn't just this environment that I was in. I could dream and think about all the places. And I think that small exposure led me to be a woman with a vision and a woman that likes to travel. And even though I didn't travel as a child. I mean, my parents, we were here, my mother between here and Louisiana, and not as well traveled, but that allowed me to dream and to see. And so to have a dream as a child and have a small exposure can really shift the trajectory of your thoughts. So I would say our school system, the way that we teach our kids, I think is really important because that moment shifted me. And whether I moved to different schools or not, I can connect with any race. I can talk to anybody. Like all of those things, I think in that moment of having that exposure. And I was only in that program for pre-K to probably second or third grade, really shifted my mindset. And from that mindset to who I am a woman now, it gives me tools to explore the world. So, and a lot of kids that were not in those programs, right? I also see how they don't believe the world is in one center place, like being in this one space. So,
but academic success was a foregone conclusion for you, though, because your great granddad is Jack Yates, the great Jack Yates. You got a school named after your great grandfather, right?
Yeah, I do.
So you really didn't have a choice,
yeah,
but to excel academically.
So, when you say academically, I look at it as ancestral led, to be honest. I'm not going to say I was just a straight A student because I wasn't. But I will say that it was something divine within me spiritually, where when I think about my great grandfather, Jack Yates, as being an advocate, right? That's something advocacy that I'm doing, that I'm realizing, wow, I can tie that back, right? When I think about my mother's mother, my grandmother, my mother's side, she was a healer. So you think about holistic roots and how I'm a person that don't like medications and all these things. I make my own, whether growing food or, making my own medicine, that was a healing side. So I feel like I'm a blend of both my lineage. And I think the most important part is the fact that I know who I am based on my family. Like I can go back to know what my great-great-grandmother did. My great-great-grandfather did this. So that's powerful to me. That builds a confidence. When you don't know that, when you don't know where you come from, that can really impact your life because it would allow the world to teach you. And that's what I think a lot of us are dealing with today in America, that we do not have control of our culture. Everyone has our hands. And so we have to get back to exactly like the Black Panther Party, like the Honorable Minister Farrakhan speaks about, teaching our own, the empowerment, and you think about people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you think about Louis Farrakhan and how purposely they try to turn us away from leadership in that way. Why? I understand religion.
And they still are.
But why? Why are we just now, because it's going to be a TikTok trend and these videos of Louis Farrakhan speaking about the greatness and speaking to us, regardless if you don't believe in the religion. And that's a whole nother thing when it comes to religion. But leadership, right? How do we feed ourselves? You know what I mean? Eat to Live, which is the book the Honorable Elijah Muhammad created. You know, those are the tools. And so in this moment, if we don't find a way to be able to share information in that way, we have completely lost our culture.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you doing any mentorships?
I plan on it. I am going to do more mentor.
Yeah.
I mentor, but not as like an organization, but you know, whether it's friends, children, or just women, younger women, like I'm always advocacy. So I'm a walking advocacy. It's not the fact that I have to have this big nonprofit organization or something right now, but I think it's my life purpose. I'm always mentoring, and I'm always open to learn. I don't know everything, but I'm always willing to learn and listen, you know? So yeah, I think that's my purposeful path.
What's the thing that frustrates you about that people get wrong about you time and time again? What is that thing that they misunderstand about you the most?
You know, I think people don't know what to understand about me. It's like this, you know, when I look at myself from a macro perspective, you do a lot. So how do I box you? And the way the mindset of a lot of people is, how do I put you into this box? You know, you've done music, you you're entrepreneur, you had your own restaurant, bar, you know, all the things that you've done. And it's like, where do I put? Just, they don't know really how to categorize you. So it's like this walking, my cousins call me a fairy.
I know how to categorize you.
How do you categorize me? I don't even know where to put it. I'm just me. I'm just Jasmine Terry.
Go getter.
Yeah.
You're a go getter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Well, I thank you for doing it on behalf of the United States of America.
Thank you.
Africa.
Third Ward.
Australia. Third Ward. North Side, South Side. H-Town, baby.
H-Town.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you all.
And much success on
Let Me Land.
Let Me Land. Let Me Land. I mean, like, what a great movement. Like it's something that you can't even, you know, I know it tripped you out when it started happening.
Yeah.
Like it was like,
yeah. I mean, you know, I've like e-commerce, you know, with my, like I said, my wellness brand, Holistic Roots, I sell product, but this is different when people are connected to something. To wake up in the next morning, because I put something online the night before, and I'm like, let's see what happens. I literally turned into a merch. My whole living room turned to a merch space overnight, and it's still rolling, and I'm thankful. But I will say, in ways that people can connect with me and be a part of this journey and, you know, witness, they can follow me at jasmineterry.com, and they can see the different brands and Let Me Land. More details will be coming there. And who knows, I'll maybe be starting my own podcast soon, you know.
Yeah.
Inspire me, Willie.
Absolutely. You've been inspired.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine Terry. No more talk.